It's being recorded.
I want to welcome you guys to In the Music Room. Yay. Thanks for coming tonight. Give yourselves a big hand for coming.
Yes.
You got to get here. The gentleman that to your left up there, just to let you know, did the first radio show with us when we started In the Music Room 252 shows ago. Mr. Ian Dickson.
Oh, 252 shows ago. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 252 shows. Whoa.
And Mr. Daniel Boling is with him. We got to meet just a few months ago, and I just thought these two guys need to be together. So y'all welcome Ian Dickson and Daniel Boling.
Thanks for coming.
Well, thanks so much for coming out. It's a real pleasure to play this room, and it's been going on for a long time. Randy and Helen have done a great job bringing music to people that they wouldn't ordinarily get to hear. So we're going to swap some songs tonight. This song was written after hearing about a saxophone player in New Orleans whose house was washed away, and he ended up having to move out to find work elsewhere because his livelihood was wiped out in New Orleans as well after Katrina. So I wrote him a song. A house built by the levee down below the water line, eating oysters, playing trumpet, dealing cards, drinking wine, c'est la vie. Greasy nights, summer, t-shirts sticking to my skin, talk storms out on the Gulf Coast, here to wash away our sins, c'est la vie. Never thought he'd wash away Big Easy. Never thought the Mississippi River'd ever wash away New Orleans, making nightmares of my dreams, c'est la vie. And seabirds flying inland, we shoot all of sea in the signs, watching tail lights on the highway in a never-ending line, c'est la vie. Curse that El Camino, parts spread all across the yard. They gave us plenty warning, man, it shouldn't be this hard, c'est la vie. Never thought he'd wash away Big Easy. Never thought the Mississippi River'd ever wash away New Orleans, making nightmares of my dreams, c'est la vie. Myself a lucky one, escaping with my life. I should have left the week before with my brother and his wife, c'est la vie. Nothing left to pack up, so I moved to Baltimore. Now I spend my summers laying on the Jersey shore, c'est la vie. Thought he'd wash away Big Easy. Never thought the Mississippi River'd ever wash away New Orleans, making nightmares of my dreams, c'est la vie. Guess I'll find another dream, c'est la vie. Somebody in New Orleans pointed out to me it wasn't the Mississippi, it was Lake Pontchartrain that washed it away, but that's a fine point.
I can tell I'm going to enjoy this evening, Ian.
I got the best seat in the house here.
Well, so do I.
Well, since Ellen and I drove over from New Mexico, we're out on a 2-month tour, and this is the first show of the tour, so I figured I ought to bring you a New Mexico song. Let's try that again with the guitar on. I got a pretty little cabin in the Jemez Valley. Roads not listed in Rand McNally. You and my dog and our mule Sally. It doesn't get better than this. That's y'all's part. It doesn't get better than this. There we go. Living in la tierra encantada. Todo está bien. No necesito nada but a big stack of blue corn enchiladas. It doesn't get better than this. Doesn't get better, don't know how it could. Everything's going just the way it should. Even my worst days are pretty good. It doesn't get better than this. The Pinon juniper suits me fine. I love the ponderosa pine growing here long before my time. It doesn't get better than this. Trail moseys up and we tag along. How could anything in this world be wrong when the canyon wren sings a happy song? It doesn't get better than this. Doesn't get better, don't know how it could. Everything's going just the way it should. Even our worst days are pretty good. It doesn't get better than this. Round sundown, settle on the front porch swing. Make a little music with the guitar strings. Love how you harmonize when I sing. It doesn't get better than this. Living in la tierra encantada. Todo está bien, no necesito nada. Cantamos a veces de madrugada. It doesn't get better than this. Tierra encantada, todo está bien, no necesito nada. No vendremos de bajada. It doesn't get better than this. It doesn't get better than this. It doesn't get better, whatever it is. It doesn't get better than this. Oh, thanks for helping me sing that. Do we have any Spanish impaired in here? Okay, at least one. All right. So,
definitely.
La Tierra Encantada. That's the land of enchantment. That's what New Mexico likes to call herself.
Cool.
Yeah. Todo está bien, no necesito nada. It's all good. I don't need anything. I just want blue corn enchiladas.
Daniel, do you?
Cantamos a veces de madrugada means sometimes we sing in the wee morning hours, kind of like at Kerrville Folk Festival, yeah.
Camp Nashville.
And let's see, no vendremos de bajada. We're not coming back down. See, our house in Albuquerque is 6,000 feet elevation, so we get all the oxygen we can suck in when we get down here to lower elevation, because we're going to need it when we get home. I was a National Park Ranger and then a Bureau of Land Management criminal investigator for 30 years, and mostly in the desert Southwest. And if you're working in the Southwest U.S. and you don't speak some Spanish, you are at a disadvantage. So they sent me off to what they called survival Spanish, immersion for law enforcement, and they didn't teach us nice poetic phrases like that.
You learned all the bad words.
They taught us things like muy despacio, con su mano izquierda, saque las llaves del carro y suéltelas afuera de la ventana, which, as some of you know, means very slowly, with your left hand. Pull the keys from the car and drop them outside the window. Very useful stuff. It's great to be here. Thanks very much for coming. Randy and Helen, thank you for doing this.
But it's hard to pick up chicks with that, isn't it?
I know some of those phrases. Mr. Ian Dickson.
Oh, man. Well, this actually was written for a wedding. A wedding in Honey Grove, Texas. Do you know where Honey Grove is? I know you do. It's between Paris and Bonham. Yeah, I bet you didn't know there was anything between Paris and Bonham, did you?
No one has too much to say about this old town. Books are never written and movies never made. Never found much reason for me to hang around. If you had asked, I probably would have stayed. I'm finally back in Texas where I'm supposed to be. Never had much patience for a road. The only thing that matters now is you and me, and a small town wedding here in Honey Grove. And too much time without you and not much to do. A string of old motel rooms from here to Tennessee. Something in each small town reminding me of you. I hope you heard my songs and thought of me. I'm finally back in Texas where I'm supposed to be. Never had much patience for a road. The only thing that matters now is you and me, and a small town wedding here in Honey Grove. So let's give them something to say about this old town. Let them say it's where dreams and wishes everyone came true. Let's hear them whisper, she's such a lovely bride, and he's a lucky man to spend his life with you. Finally back in Texas where I'm supposed to be. Never had much patience for a road. The only thing that matters now is you and me, and a small town wedding here in Honey Grove. A small town wedding here in Honey Grove.
They got divorced 2 years later.
I was just going to ask you.
Not my fault.
If
Not
the
my
weddings
fault.
you were played for are holding up any better than the weddings I've played.
Nothing. Yeah, it must be us.
Probably kept them together an extra 6 months.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's the song, you know. Do it for the kids in the song.
Okay, so towns in Texas is the theme, apparently.
Who just wait till.
As a songwriter, I'm usually sticking to songs I wrote, but every once in a while I make an exception, and on this new album I put 2 songs on there from a hero of mine who's no longer with us, Tim Henderson, great ballad writer. And one of the reasons I learned to play this song is because I knew I was going to come play here. And then I wound up putting it on the new album. So. Miss Amelia Harris, spinster, has a home in Waxahachie. She sent her only lover off to battle, but you mustn't ask which war. She gave up her future for. She'll tell how her heart was broken, describe each tender token, and the soft words that were spoken by a man whose footsteps brought him back no more. Miss Amelia's jams and jellies, well, they're the talk of Waxahachie. She makes them from the berries children bring her from the roadsides and the farms, and she takes them in her arms. She praises each one's cherries, or his peaches, or his berries, till his eyes grow bright and merry, 'cause she's won him with her cookies and her charm. Up on Miss Amelia's porch, the gentle breeze of Waxahachie runs a finger through her gray hair as she takes the air and rocks a red sundown, and a hush falls on the town. The setting sun with dying rays stirs memories of younger days. In gingerbread and stately ways her old heart puts on its ivory wedding gown. For the ghost of her lost lover walks the streets of Waxahachie, haunts the memories of her old friends, all the ones who know he never lived or died. He's just a crutch to aging pride, a ghost out of the sterner years when homely girls shed lonely tears, the vision and the awful fear and knowledge that she'd never be a bride. Miss Amelia Harris, spinster, gives her love to Waxahachie in the pies and cakes and cookies and the happy smile that lights the children's face, and all the doilies and the lace, and the red earth's blood in mason jars they sell at all the church bazaars. She waves to all the passing cars, a monument to years of style and grace. Miss Amelia Harris, spinster, has a home in Waxahachie, and she sent her only lover off to battle, but you mustn't ask which war. Jim Henderson. Thank you.
That was the only song I've ever heard with Waxahachie.
Same here.
So we'll shift gears here to the silly. This song was written for a song contest, and the song contest had a theme. It was just saw Jimmy Hoffa.
Okay.
And since I was the only one in the contest who was over 25 years old, I did not have to ask my grandfather who Jimmy Hoffa was. God, I was so bummed when the kids said that to me. I had to ask my grandfather who Jimmy Hoffa was. So, do you guys know who Jimmy Hoffa is?
Absolutely.
I know you guys know it. I wonder if they do. You guys, you have no idea who Jimmy Hoffa is. Okay, well, I'll tell you so that you're not left out of it, because these guys may laugh and you want to know why. Jimmy Hoffa was the head of the Teamsters Union in Detroit, and an alleged gangster. And he disappeared from a restaurant up in Detroit. They found his Pontiac Parisienne. It's a big Pontiac, like a big Cadillac. Little blood on the dashboard, but they never found him. In fact, they dug up Giant Stadium, because they thought he might have been buried under Giant Stadium. But that's who Jimmy Hoffa was.
Love and war on a Saturday night, hanging with the usual crew. My buddy pointed out my favorite waitress, bet she'd never go home with you. That's a bet I'll take, 'cause I've been working on a brand new pickup line. It's a little bit rough, but a couple more shiners make it sound just fine. I just saw Jimmy Hoffa riding in his Pontiac. Just saw Amelia Earhart, says she's flying back. It's a Bigfoot riding the Loch Ness Monster, trying to get a better view. I've seen Santa at the end of this bar, but I've never seen a woman like you. She gave me a look like you give a kid when he's up to no good. Then she smiled, gave me a wink that showed me that she understood. She got off work, she took me home in an old green Pontiac, with Michigan plates and blood on the dash and a skeleton in the back. I just saw Jimmy Hoffa riding in his Pontiac. Just saw Amelia Earhart, said she is flying back. It's a Bigfoot riding the Loch Ness Monster, trying to get a better view. I've seen Santa at the end of this bar, but I've never seen a woman like you. So be careful what you ask for, just might come your way. If I just kept my big mouth shut, I wouldn't be here today, explaining to the FBI everything I saw. I was just looking for a little bit of fun, wasn't trying to get in trouble with the law. I just saw Jimmy Hoffa riding in his Pontiac. Just saw Amelia Earhart, said she's flying back. The Bigfoot riding the Loch Ness Monster, trying to get a better view. I've seen Santa at the end of this bar, but I've never seen a woman like you. Oh, I've seen Santa at the end of this bar, but I've never seen a woman like you.
It did win the contest.
Ian, I heard that Jimmy Hoffa really is living and became a park ranger in New Mexico.
I've heard rumors. Yeah, grew a beard.
Yeah, I wondered who that guy was.
Has to lose a lot of weight, too.
If I disappear tomorrow.
Well, we'll go for the middle ground here. That's I mentioned that Tim Henderson, that wrote that last song, was one of my songwriting heroes. I've had a number of them over the years, and some of them are still with us, and some of them are not. This song's for some of those that are not with us anymore. It's also brand new. Are you still singing your songs? Thought I heard you yesterday. Everything was quiet, middle of the night, when you used to take your guitar down and play. I guess I could have been wrong, but it sure sounded like your song. made me smile like I haven't in a while. About the best I've felt since you've been gone. Are you singing your songs when the nighttime falls? I don't know what all there is up there to do, but when you're done for the day and you fold those wings away, I hope you're singing your songs. We are too. I expect you make the rounds, look after all of us here on the ground. Do what you can, lend your gentle hand, like you always did when you were still around. Came to make and do, you were the king. Find the sunny side to anything. I know you're always near, I can feel you here. But Lord, it did me good to hear you sing. Are you singing your songs when the nighttime falls? I don't know what all there is up there to do, but when you're done for the day, you fold those wings away. I hope you're singing your songs. We are too. Love the way your mind could weave a story, subtle dance you'd choreograph. I imagine since you went to glory, you've been busy making all the angels laugh. Are you singing your songs when the nighttime falls? I don't know what all there is up there to do, but when you're done for the day and you fold those wings away, I hope you're singing your songs. We are too. Thank you all. Thanks, Randy.
That was nice. Yeah, it's sad when you lose your musical heroes. So this is not a song that I wrote. This song was actually written by one of my favorite songwriters, which you guys may not have heard of, down in San Marcos, Texas, Mark Younger. I don't know if you guys know Mark or not. If you ever run into Mark, he writes the best farm songs on the planet, in my opinion. This is not a farm song.
It's a special niche.
He actually grew up on a farm in Illinois, so he loves farm songs. But this is my favorite song of his, and only because the hook on it is just really compelling, and I don't know why, it just always was.
I sit and watch the phone ring for a while. Thought it might be you who tried to call. Every time I tried to dial, you made me feel just like a fool. Well, it ain't funny when it's you. The hobos and the junkies walk and pray. They see us walking every day in town. They assume we were related, and they let me try and pick a fight. But it ain't funny when it's you. When the laughing is all over and there's nothing left to do, wish someone would hold you tight. Well, it ain't funny when it's you. Well, I'm kicking cans down the street. I'm running roughshod and I'm sinking here to stay. feel brand new as I'm crawling away. Well, it ain't funny when it's you. The street lights, they don't shine like they did. I guess that everything could fade, like a hobo or a junkie or a jaded circus clown. It ain't funny when it's you, like a hobo or a junkie or a jaded circus clown. Well, it ain't funny when it's you.
So you have to check out Mark Youngers.
Mark Youngers. This the S on the end.
Mark
Youngers.
Youngers, yes, and the Whistling Mules.
It's a great title. My daddy used to live in Aztec, New Mexico, a little town of about 5,000 people, about 4 hours away from Albuquerque, where Ellen and I live when we're not living in that big silver van out in the parking lot there. Every time we'd get home off the road, we'd drive up to Aztec and check on Daddy, see how he was doing, set up his meds, and take him to the grocery store and such. But his Parkinson's got to the point where he just couldn't live on his own anymore, and so 2 Christmases ago, we got quite a bit of the family together and moved him to Indiana so he could live with my sister and her husband and their chihuahua. And everybody's getting along real fine there, but I tell you what, taking apart and moving and figuring out what to do with a house full of things that somebody's accumulated over a lifetime, well, I'll just tell you that in the song here. Sleeves rolled up, work gloves on, a dust mask on my face. Time to sort and pack and load and ship my papa's place. Chunks of chain, hunks of board, a couple dozen scriptures of the Lord. Things we can't, things we must, under 40 years of dust. Chest waders with the feet cut off, hanging on the wall of my dad's garage. I don't know what he kept them for, but I'm pretty sure he never wore those chest waders with the feet cut off, unless maybe he lost his mind. But when somebody goes through things of mine, no telling just what they'll find. That throne-shaped toilet paper holder really reeks of class. A Victorian-era serving tray with dead moths under glass. What to keep, what to throw, who the heck is ever gonna know? What we pitch, what we save, take that secret to my grave. But Grandpa wired with these pliers, I'll keep them for sure. And this pistol, Mama's daddy carried in the war. But what to do with all this stuff? Every house already has enough. Give a bunch of things away and pity our own kids someday. There's chest waders with the feet cut off, hanging on the wall of my dad's garage. I don't know what he kept them for, but I'm pretty sure he never wore those chest waders with the feet cut off, unless maybe he lost his mind. But when somebody goes through things of mine, no telling just what they'll find. 'Cause I've got pay stubs clear back to the 60s, blue jeans that no longer fit me, bags of rusty used guitar strings, projects left undone, fallout from a jack of all trades, junk that hasn't budged in decades. In my mind the choir sings, you are your father's son. Thank you.
God, that sounds like my garage.
Yeah, Dad's garage.
Sounds like all of our
Oh, it's sad. It's sad.
Hell, this used to be a garage.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Now this is the way to do a garage.
Few things on the wall in here.
I think my wife would object. Yeah, leave the car out because I want to do some things in the garage. Okay, well, I'll just have to come down to Waxahachie if I want to hang out in this garage. In 1862, the Confederate and Union armies faced off across the fields in Bronner's Farm for what became the Battle of Bull Run. And this is a song about that battle. It's a fine line between Washington and Richmond. Defines a man based upon which side he was born. So sit against this tree line with a gray coat and a musket, waiting for my brother on the other side of the corn. My captain was a farmer from somewhere down near Charleston. Had never been a soldier till about a year ago. He traded home and plowshare for a silver-handled saber, and a cause his neighbor said was right, he didn't really know. And it's a hard thing to watch my country shattered, not to understand why we are torn. And when the killing starts, it doesn't matter to me and my brother on the other side of the corn. A searing wave of summer heat would sometimes part the corn rows, revealing boys as young as me a few 1,000 yards away. I wonder what they're thinking, lumps of biscuit in their bellies, shaking, maybe crying, or just kneeling down to pray. A hush fell over Bronner's farm, the birds stopped their singing. It left a brittle silence, too still to risk a breath, till cannon shot and powder from 100,000 muskets and shook the ground, ripped through the corn on their way to death. And it's a hard thing to watch my country shattered, not to understand why we are torn. And when the killing starts, it doesn't matter to me and my brother on the other side of the corn. A young man lay across the field, he's part of Lincoln's army. Never had a chance to run when he heard the bugler's horn. With eyes locked on the August sun, never realizing that he just met his brother from the other side of the corn. Well, that was depressing. Play the banjo. You can't possibly frown if you're playing the banjo.
That's a great song. Oh my.
No minor chords.
Play a minor chord, somebody dies.
Let's see. raising the big top for Saturday night in a small Arizona town. Unrolling the canvas and hiking the poles, tying 'em fast all around. When the rigging's all up, we'll have 6 hours rest, then put on a show for the town. Then we'll put on another, and then put it to bed. But first, all the rigging comes down. We'll be making the jump in the morning, so we're striking the canvas tonight. Come tomorrow, we're raising the big top again. We'll be rolling before it's good light. I'm a hand in a traveling circus of 18. We tour the small western towns, giving 2 shows a night. We've done nearly 200 in 3 months since I started out. But next week, there's a break in our schedule, 3 days that haven't been booked as of yet. And I sure hope they won't be. I need a vacation, probably the last one I'll get. We've been making the jump in the morning, so we're striking the canvas tonight. Come tomorrow, we're raising the big top again. We'll be rolling before it's good light. Well, Jerry plays organ while Jim swallows fire, and Johnny is a jack of all trades. Aerialist Maggie soars over the crowds in the spiderweb rigging we've made. And the throng gets such thrills as the pageant unfolds, color and light everywhere. But by 5 in the morning, if someone should look, he'd find nothing but tire prints here. For we're making the jump in the morning, so we're striking the canvas tonight. Come tomorrow, we're raising the big top again. We'll be rolling before it's good light. On a good night, I'll make $40. On a slow night, I'll make 25. It's not much of a living, I know, but it serves to keep me and this old truck alive, till I find something better to do with my life, or someplace else I've never seen. And the circus will go on like before I joined, as though nothing occurred in between. They'll keep making the jump every morning, so we're striking the canvas tonight. Come tomorrow, they're raising the big top again. They'll be rolling before it's good light.
Yes. Very nice.
Thank you. The big top.
We'll do one more round here. We'll both do a song. We'll take a little break here.
Okay.
So, since this is the last one for this set, I'm going to retune this.
That song is the story of my dear friend John Darlow Boswell, who
That's a true story?
Yeah, he spent 30 years traveling the whole U.S. and half of Canada in a '63 GMC pickup truck that he built a little wooden house on the back of, and had mud flaps read "Old Blue" passing through, because it's a sky blue pickup truck. John was a Navy frogman in Vietnam before he was a folk singer. I think when he got back from Vietnam, that had kind of messed with his head, and he manifested pretty profound paranoid schizophrenia. And I think moving all the time helped. He could maintain a lot better if he didn't have to stay in one place and try to cope. And being a folk singer worked out well, because he didn't have to stay in one place and try to cope. He was moving all the time.
Money wasn't a problem because he didn't have any.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell him how old he was when he ran off with the circus.
Oh, yeah. Well, the way he came to tell me about this circus experience was he was camped in Cave Creek, Arizona, when the Culpeper and Merriweather Great Combined Circus came to town. And that's a little circus of about 7 people who do everything. They said, any of you young fellas want to help us tear down the tents at the end of the second show? He said, yeah. And he loved it so much he ran off with them the next morning at 48.
48?
Yeah.
That's courage.
Okay, you're all tuned up. I'll stop talking.
Thank you very much for that little story. I appreciate it. So this is my tribute to the blues. Get yourself a song, sing it out in the fields. Get yourself a song, sing it out in the fields. Don't make it a sad one, let them know how you feel. Well, sing about something, but not what you really mean. Sing about something, but not what you really mean. Gonna find me a woman, sweep my front porch clean. Well, take it to Chicago and make that big town dance. Take it to Chicago and make that big town dance. You know they're gonna love you if you give them half a chance. So get yourself a bottle and drag it across them guitar strings. Get yourself a bottle and drag it across them guitar strings. Ain't no finer sound of the way he rings. So get yourself a song, sing it out in the fields. Get yourself a song, sing it out in the fields. It's sad songs, don't let them know how you feel. Oh, make it a sad song, don't let them know how you feel.
Ooh, yeah.
Thanks so much for coming out tonight. I'm glad you guys came out to play. It's a beautiful night. Be out with music.
I'm enjoying the heck out of it.
I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying.
This guitar doesn't know what to do with all this humidity. So we got a dear friend in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to get to see her on this trip. I'll tell you a little bit more about her here in a minute in the song, and maybe just real quick afterwards. But my friend Bessie Steen, she got brand new knees. Nothing ever stopped that lady, far as I can see. She drove the old folks to church, another 7 years at least, at 93, with those brand new knees. Jim is a big old man, he's got a big old heart. Now doctors are convinced that is his very weakest part. But anyone needs help, he's elbow deep right from the start. Jim makes the best of that big old heart. Give me their grace to see my challenges as blessings. Take whatever comes, turn it into something fine. I could find a way to make a sunny day depressing, but I never do that ever since you're mine. We don't have much, it's just enough. Raised two great kids, the house is filled with love and art and stuff. Hold each other tighter anytime the way gets rough. We don't have much, it's just enough. Give me the grace to see my challenges as blessings. Take whatever comes, turn it into something fine. I'm not buying every word some preacher is professing. If he wants my soul, he'll have to get in line. One life is all I'm likely to be given. I'm not waiting for the next one. Live it while I'm living. Give me the grace to see my challenges as blessings. Take whatever comes, turn it into something fine. Every now and then I may be guilty of obsessing, but there's so much more to do than there is time. I've got so much more to do. I pray there's time.
Thank y'all. Let's visit a little bit and come back and do some more.
Take about a 20-minute break and come back for the long set.